Welcome to the Poconos. Instead of going skiing, we're going to the mall. Stroud Mall. This place has certainly seen better days, but it's doing alright, all things considered. So let's take a look inside and explore the story of Stroud Mall. In May 1976, due to popular demand from local shoppers, Hess's announced plans to construct a new store on Route 611 in Stroudsburg. They also announced they would be building an indoor mall adjacent to the new store as part of a joint effort with the Plymouth Meeting-based Montgomery Development Company. This mall was to contain 40 inline stores along with a second, yet-to-be-determined anchor. Hess's was the first store to open, which it did on July 29, 1977. JCPenney signed on to be the second anchor in September 1977, making the decision to relocate from their downtown Stroudsburg store. The mall itself opened on March 2, 1978, with original stores and businesses including KB Toys, Walden Books, Kinney Shoes, GNC, Holiday Hair, K Jewelers, Ray and Derrick, Fashion Bug, Time Out Arcade, a two-screen cinema, and many more. JCPenney, meanwhile, didn't make it in time for opening day, not arriving until later in 1978. In 1988, Stroud Mall underwent its first major renovation, which included the addition of the food court. In 1990, Sears announced it would leave its downtown Stroudsburg location for a new store triple the size at Stroud Mall. Sears was initially expected to open in the summer of 1991, but ended up getting delayed by years. Sears finally opened on August 3, 1994 as part of a $12 million mall expansion, which also added a new wing of inline tenants. The Sears was the only two-level store at Stroud Mall, and was also home to Monroe County's very first escalators. 1994 also saw Hess's go out of business, with 20 of their 30 stores, including the Stroud Mall location, being sold off to the Bon-Ton. In April 1998, Stroud Mall was sold to its current owner, CBL and Associates, for $38.1 million. At the time, CBL said it was considering renovating and possibly expanding the mall. The expansion never came, but the mall underwent a $4 million renovation in 2002, which included the addition of new lighting and skylights, as well as wooden benches, couches, coffee tables, and terracotta planters. In December 2010, the movie theater, which at that point was a 7-screen Lowe's theater, closed its doors for the last time. It was then replaced by the current 12-screen Cinemark theater in November 2011. Like so many other malls, Stroud Mall ran into anchor trouble in the late 2010s. The Bon-Ton closed in 2018, shortly before the entire company went out of business. This was followed by the closure of Sears in early 2019, leaving the mall with JCPenney as its only anchor, for a short time. But luckily the mall was able to fill both vacant anchors relatively quickly. On November 1st, 2019, ShopRite moved into the former Bon-Ton space, having relocated from another location in Stroudsburg. Then on January 24th, 2020, EFO Furniture opened on the first floor of the old Sears. Now sure, a furniture store isn't your traditional mall anchor, but it's better than nothing. And as for ShopRite, I love to see that. I've always thought that malls should have grocery stores as anchors. And this ShopRite even has a mall entrance, though technically the mall entrance takes you into a restaurant that's part of the ShopRite. But still, it's a great anchor to have, and it surely draws many people to the mall. And yes, this mall does have slot machines. That's an interesting way to fill a vacant space. Today, Stroud Mall is hanging in there. It's not the busiest mall around, but things could be worse. The inline occupancy rate is about 75% by my count, and there are no vacant anchors. However, it's worth noting that the occupancy rate was about 93% in 2018, so there's been a bit of a drop in recent years. I think we all know what might have played a big role in that. Another thing is that there aren't too many national chains amongst the inline tenants. Sure, there are some, like Aeropostale, Bath & Body Works, Claire's, and Shoe Department, but most of them are locally owned places that you probably wouldn't know if you didn't live in the area. Not that there's anything wrong with local businesses, but when they outnumber major chains, it's often a sign that the mall is having trouble attracting major chains. Notable names that have left in recent years include Books A Million, FYE, Foot Locker, GameStop, GNC, Journeys, and Victoria's Secret, to name a few. Still, I think Stroud Mall will be here for a while. It's the only mall in the immediate area, with the next closest being Palmer Park Mall in Easton, about a half hour away. And like I said, ShopRite being here is huge since everybody needs to go grocery shopping. I think the biggest thing they need to do to stay afloat is keep the anchor spaces filled. ShopRite isn't going anywhere anytime soon, but with JCPenney, it's hard to say what the future holds. And as for EFO Furniture, I really don't know anything about them, but they're a small chain in Northeast Pennsylvania that's been around since 1984, so hopefully they'll stick around for the foreseeable future. That'll bring us to the end of this look at Stroud Mall in Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania. What do you think about Stroud Mall? Have you been here, and what are your memories and experiences if so? Leave a comment and let me know. I hope you liked this video, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing too if you haven't already. It would be much appreciated. So long, Stroud Mall.